Good morning, everyone. Greetings from my tiny room in my garage that I use as a gym. I am out here, pardon the echo. There's not a lot of stuff out here but me. But good morning to Megan. Good morning to Trey. Good morning to Lindsay. Good morning to, is it Maheen? Good morning to Amber. Good morning, guys. It is Thursday. Yep, it's Thursday. And this morning I want to talk about resilience. I want to talk about what it is to be tenacious. I want to talk about why people tend to give up on their goals. There are two main reasons that I can think of, and I want to talk about what it means for us to keep going. So if you are someone who feels like there is a goal that you are working on in your life that you are feeling really discouraged about, or you feel like you have already walked away from a goal that you once really cared about, I want to talk about the two reasons that I think we tend to let go of something that we're really passionate about. So the first reason that I can think of, someone just said they signed up for Rise Live Health. That is awesome. I'll tell you all about that in a little bit. So I want you all to imagine a goal that you have worked on. Something that maybe you wanted to write a book, maybe you were working on your health, maybe you were working on a relationship, maybe you were trying to heal something in your family or build a business or get promoted. Something that you have worked on or are working on and you let go. Or you took your foot off the gas, or you feel discouraged. Does anyone have something like that? Give me like a thumbs up, heart, something that you got along those lines. Great. So the reasons that I can think of for why we tend to let go of things that we're really passionate about and goals that we really work toward, I'm sure there's all sorts of reasons, but the two main reasons that I can think of are, the first one is that you feel like you are not making traction. You feel like you're not getting anywhere. You feel like you're putting in all of this work and all of this effort, but nothing's happening from it, right? Like, give me a heart over here, tap that heart button. If you felt like that before, you're like, I am working so hard, I am trying so hard, and I am not getting traction, right? Great, lots of you. So then the other reason that I think that people walk away, take their foot off the gas pedal, let go of something is because maybe they are seeing traction and they keep trying to push something forward. They keep trying, but it feels like if you don't keep putting all of your time and all of your effort on the thing, that it can't continue to grow. So as an entrepreneur, I've experienced this many times where I'm like, okay, I got the train going. I got it moving down the tracks. I got these people. We're moving in a direction, right? Maybe it's your family. You're like, okay, I got us all in a program where we're being really good about picking up after ourselves or keeping the house tidy. We're doing these things. But it feels like the second that you personally don't put all of your energy and all of your time into that thing, everything falls apart. So it's not that you don't have traction, it's that you have frustration or even anger that you feel like you're the only one who is trying to make this thing happen. So I want to talk about those two things today. The first instance is you don't feel like you have traction. This happens to all of us. And I just want to give you a couple of things in my experience that have really helped with this. This could be that you're on a health journey, like you're trying to get healthy and you feel like you're putting in all this effort and nothing's coming from it. So when I've experienced this in my life, it's happened for a few reasons. One, I think the biggest reason that we don't see traction is that we do not stop and evaluate what is working and what is not. We are so gung-ho, we are so full steam ahead, we're putting so much time and effort and energy into the thing. We're like, I am in. Well, you're so in that you can't step out to make sure that the ways that you are trying to achieve your goal are actually effective. You're moving so fast, you're pushing forward so hard that you can't actually see the forest for the trees, right? So when I remember the very first time in my life that I consciously tried to get healthy. It was after I had had my first son, and I was already very unhealthy before I got pregnant, and then I ate all the things, and I had no idea how to exercise. I didn't understand how nutrition worked, and I had gained, guys, I do not care about weight. This is not about weight, but it gives you some context. I had gained a lot. I had gained a lot in that pregnancy. And I'm 5'2", and so all of that extra weight really it just felt like so much pressure on my body. And so for the first time ever, I tried to get healthy. I tried to figure that out. And I was working so hard. I went down to the 24-hour fitness, and I got a trainer, and I was doing all these things. I was working so hard for about a month, and I thought, I'm really gonna see crazy results. I'm not gonna do anything to check my progress, because back in the day, how I would check my progress was to weigh myself. So I was like, I'm not gonna check my progress. I'm gonna just wait a full month, and then I'm gonna step onto that scale, and I'm gonna see massive results, right? Super screwed up way of thinking about your health, to think that if you are losing weight that you are getting healthy. But I did not know better. And so a month goes by, I'm working really hard, and I'm with the trainer, and I step on the scale, and I think I had lost a pound. And I had 40 pounds to lose to get back to the weight that I was before I got pregnant. And even at that place, I wasn't healthy. And I was devastated. I could not believe that I had put in that much effort and I didn't see any results, because I had told myself, oh, the reason that you're not healthy is because you're not trying. So if I try, then for sure I'm going to see spectacular results. And I sobbed the whole way home from the gym that day. And because I was so upset, and because I was like, oh, this doesn't work anyway, I did what most of us do in this situation. I was like, well, screw it. I'm going to go binge eat. I'm going to eat everything, because it doesn't actually matter what I do, because it doesn't work. The reality, several things I didn't understand at the time. Number one, I didn't understand that I shouldn't have been weighing myself. I should have been paying attention to how my clothes fit. I was gaining muscle, because for the first time ever, I was doing strength training, and muscle weighs more than fat. But because that's how we're taught, right? If you grew up as a girl in the 80s, all we're taught is, what is your weight? And so I looked at that scale, and immediately I was like, I'm a failure, because I didn't understand that things were changing in my body, right? And I also didn't understand fundamentally that it does not matter. If I was trying to get healthy in that way, if I was trying to take off weight specifically so that I felt better in my body, so that my back wasn't hurting and all of those things, that I had to care more about my nutrition than I did about what was happening in the gym. Because I was working out so hard, and I was still eating fast food and still eating frappuccinos and still putting garbage in my body, I didn't understand. So I was going so hard, full steam ahead, that I couldn't step back and see if there was any traction, right? I couldn't step back and see if I was actually getting the results. So the idea that I want to put in your mind today, whatever it is to ask yourself, is there a better way for me to approach the thing that I'm doing? Is there a better way? Is there a healthier way? Is there a happier way? I think of this when I wanted to be an author. And again, I thought, oh, if I just put the effort in, if I just write the words, then I will be a published author. And I wrote a book, and then nobody gave a crap about it. So I had to reevaluate what it would be like for me to get traction. I ended up self-publishing that book, because I was looking at what is the end result that I want, and how can I get there in a bunch of different ways. I can't remember who said this originally, but we have to be, the line is you have to be hardcore about your goal, but incredibly flexible about your methods. You have to be super flexible about how you get there. The example that I use, so many women in my community, and I get questions a lot, or I talk a lot, and I've had friends and family members who have battled infertility. And battling infertility is awful. And I have held friends and family members while they sobbed, and while they went through the strain and the trauma, truly, of taking the medication to try and help, and then, getting the egg retrieval and trying to do an embryo, and then it doesn't work. It's devastating. And just, if you are in that right now, I want to honor you. I want to honor how hard that is. But I think that if you are able to step back and you get to have your own journey, right? You get to decide how you approach this. But I do know from women in my community and dear friends that they get so obsessed with what they believe the method should be that they're never able to step back and see if there might be another way. So if the goal, because there's two different goals, right? Is the goal to become pregnant, or is the goal to be a mom? Because those are two very different things. There are lots of ways to be a mom, but there are much less ways to become pregnant. So what I'm trying to get you to see is that whatever your goal is, that you have to be thoughtful about how you get there. And if you are working so hard and not seeing results, take a step back and ask yourself if there's a different way that you can approach this thing. The second reason that I think that people really take their foot off the gas, really feel discouraged, is, and tell me if this is you, where you start to feel frustrated, you start to feel bitter in work, in your business, in your romantic relationships, maybe in your family, if you feel like you're the only one who cares, if you feel like you're the only one who is putting in effort, if you feel like you were the only one who is pushing this thing forward, it frustrates you so much that you're like, you know what? Screw it. I have experienced this so many times as an entrepreneur where I get so frustrated because I'm like, I don't understand why I feel like if I am not here making the machine run, it doesn't run. And that is no disrespect to my team. I have the most incredible team of people. But I think that it's just something that if you are leading out on a company, if you are building something, maybe you own a coffee shop or a bakery, or maybe you're a teacher or a school principal, that you're like, guys, I cannot be the one that cares at this level. I can't be the only one who is putting in this effort. But my gut is that you have to be. My gut is that if the dream is on your heart, the goal is your passion, that you are going to have to be the one that cares the most. That you are going to have to be the one that sets the standard. That you are going to have to be the one that keeps going when nobody else will. You're going to have to be the one. Because other people don't have the passion that you have. And it may be that you have to keep putting in the effort until they catch on, right? Until they get to the place where they feel it as much as you do. I think about this respectfully. I am watching, I know we as a country are watching the systemic racism that is happening in this country. And it feels like more people care than have ever cared before. And then we watch another story. Someone getting shot in the back in front of their children. We watch another story again. And if it feels like this to me, I cannot even fathom what it feels like to be a Black person in America. So, I'm not gonna cuss, pissed off, so angry, so bitter, like, what the hell is going on, right? And I'm watching in my feed today, I'm watching my Black friends post, and they're just so frustrated and they're exhausted. They're freaking exhausted. They're so tired of having these conversations. They're so tired of wanting people to care about this community as much as we care about our freaking selves. And I can't imagine, and you can't imagine, if you are a white person in this country, we cannot fathom what that feels like because we do not know. And the only thing that I can think of, and I don't even know, I just want to say, like, change is happening, and it is not happening fast enough, and it is not happening at a rapid rate, and it is not happening when it should have happened. It is so freaking overdue, but it is happening. It is happening, you guys. We are having more conversations. We are more aware. We are learning more than we have. And that is not like credit to us as white people because we're learning more. That is credit to the African American community, to the Black community who has continued to freaking show up and use their voices and fight for equality and push this forward. It is because of you that these things are still happening. You are the definition of resilience. You are the definition of standing up and going again. And I cannot imagine what it feels like to be like, Jesus, why are we still, we're still freaking having to explain this. We're still having to talk about this. It is the worst that you are still having to lead out on this. It is the worst. But you are making change. You are. It's not fast enough. It should have happened a long time ago. But I don't even know if this matters coming from me. God, you're the definition of resilience. I was thinking that this morning, I was like, I want to talk about resilience. And I open up my Instagram feed and I'm seeing the stories again. And I was like, this is the definition of resilience. Yeah, you know what? Get out of here. I'm gonna just, I'm gonna call the name of Jesus when we're talking about systemic racism in this country. Stop being so holier than thou. Sorry. If you wanna talk about Christianity, stop focusing on me calling out to Jesus and start focusing on what you are doing as a Christian to create equality in this country. Get out of here. Wrong thing. Jesus does need to be near us during this time. Sorry, get out of here. Anyway, sorry, I was not trying to get, I was trying to get that angry. Sometimes anger is what it's going to take for you to keep going. Whatever it is, whatever the goal, whatever you're working toward in your life, and you feel like nobody cares as much as you do, maybe they don't. So you're going to have to be passionate enough that they listen. You're going to have to be passionate enough about your goal. You're going to have to be passionate enough about your dream. You're going to have to believe in this thing enough, whatever it is, right? And I just want to encourage you in that today. Maybe the reason that you feel so frustrated is because you do care this much. You do care this much about education. You do care this much about health. You do care this much about writing your book. You do care this much about whatever it is, right? There's a reason that you have this passion in your heart. And just because other people don't get it the way that you do, that's not a sign that you should stop. That's a sign that you should keep going. All right. That's my thought today. I hope that it was encouraging. I hope that it was helpful. If you guys haven't listened to it, I really, really, really want to encourage you to listen to this week's episode of my podcast. I had an incredible, truly one of my favorite interviews I've ever done. I interviewed Professor Martha S. Jones about the history of the 19th Amendment. If you're not familiar, the 19th Amendment is, I was raised as a white person in America to believe that the 19th Amendment was when women gained the right to vote. But truly, the 19th Amendment was, in fact, it didn't even guarantee voting rights to anybody. It just said that states couldn't discriminate based on your gender. And so even if you could vote in 1920 when the amendment was ratified and became a law, then even if you could vote, it truly was only if you were a white woman. And so I had this incredible conversation, and we were all over the place. I don't know if you guys have listened to it. Please go listen to it. Frankly, go listen to it, most especially if you are a white woman. This is our history and we need to understand. Professor Jones shares this incredible story about just all the way back, and the relationships between white women and black women, and what it is for us to sit by silently and say nothing. And you will learn so much. You will find it so interesting. And I hope most especially that you find it empowering, you guys. You find it empowering. Anybody who has ever had the world try to silence their voice, as a woman, as a person of color, as a religious minority, as LGBTQ, like if you have had if the world has tried to silence your voice, it matters more than ever. And we had this conversation just to speak about how important it is for you to vote. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. Like, you do you, but it matters that your voice is heard. So don't miss the opportunity. If you want to dig in more, this week's episode of the podcast, you can get it anywhere you get your pods. It's so freaking good. I love the conversation. And I really want to encourage you to share it on your social if you think it's great too, or listen to it with your kids. It just was one of my favorites. So that's what's going on this week. Last thing I'm going to say, and then I got to hustle because Noah gets to meet her preschool teacher today. So I'm taking her to meet her teacher. But anyway, so the last thing that I'm going to say is we put tickets on sale yesterday for our Rise Live, which is our virtual conference. We did this back in May. It was phenomenal. I know so many of you were there. We had over 50,000 attendees from 83 different countries spend an entire day just devoting themselves to personal growth. So we have incredible teachers, which I'm going to bring on live and have them talk to you as well. But Jay Shetty, Trent Shelton, Stacy Flowers, Nick Vujicic, me, Dave, Beans, Chris, who you know these people if you have come to a Rise conference before, Kelly Levette talking about nutrition and really simplifying it. We want to have a conversation about health, and not in a way that's shaming, and not in a way that's selling you anything, and not in a way that's telling you that you're wrong, but in a way that hopefully reframes the way that we approach health, making health about the way we feel, not about the way we look, and giving you the tools to make sure that you have the energy to live the life that you want to live. So you can find out more information on theholliscode.com, theholliscode.com. Yes, Trent Shelton does kill it. We have a lot of really powerful motivational speakers this time, and so I'm really seeing this one. Yeah, we want to give you tactics, but for any of you who felt like you've kind of fallen off of the plan that you wanted to be on, or you've fallen off your nutrition, or you've fallen off that motivation to kind of move your body and make yourself feel good and stretch and just love and appreciate what you've been given, this is the day for you. So if you go on theholliscode.com, right there at the top, you'll see it. Just tap the thing. You can watch a video that explains what it's about, get the questions answered. If you have any questions, as always, we have the most amazing customer service team. Hello at the Hollis Co. They can answer anything that you want to know. All right, you guys, I love you so much. I want to encourage you to keep going, whatever it is, whether it's a lack of traction or you feel like a lack of support. This goal and this dream is on your heart for a reason. I believe that your creator put it there for a reason. And it's going to be up to you to push it into bolder spaces, into bigger ways, to push it across the finish line, to push it up the mountain. But I just don't believe that you would have this goal if you weren't capable of seeing it through. All right, I love you guys. I'm off to preschool, then back on set for more taping of the Rachel Hollis Show on Quibi. If you haven't checked it out, go do that. Have a great day.